Yo, what up guys? Welcome back to another episode of Q Reviews. In this Q Review, we'll be going over the last movie in the Marvel Phase 4, Spider-Man Far From Home, starring Tom Holland, Samuel L. Jackson, Marissa Tomei, and the rest of the cast and crew. Spider-Man Far From Home takes place after the events of Endgame and is basically Peter Parker is now have to live in Tony Stark's shadow, and those are big shoes to fill, and he still kind of want to be the kid, and you know, he has to still be an Avenger because he's the main part of the Avenger, and everybody wants to know, is he the new next Tony Stark? A lot of pressure for a fucking 16-year-old kid that just wants to hook up with MJ on the top of the Iowa Tower, get his little freak on, and you know, that's the basic presence of the movie. And we have Jake Gyllenhaal playing Mysterio. If you don't know about Mysterio, I'm not gonna spoil it here. Just know that the actors in this movie, the main actors, especially Jake Gyllenhaal here, him as Mysterio, at first I was like, I don't know, I don't see him, you know, really, bringing them acting chops that I know Jake Gyllenhaal has. Did he just take a motherfucking paycheck? Because, I know the Nightcrawler, Jake Gyllenhaal. That's what I want to see. But I'm here to say some things happening, and then he turns the acting up to what you know Jake Gyllenhaal to be. The beginning of the movie, well, it's a little slow to start, and it's a little too silly for me at the beginning. You got, a bunch of characters in here that we don't really care about it. That's a lot of things too. I don't think some of these characters deserve to be in the movie. JB Smoove had no point to be in this fucking movie. You had Nick Fury, played by Samuel L. Jackson. It's always a pleasure to see him. He kind of connected some of the story elements together, but he was a mean motherfucker in here, boy. I swear I almost heard him say to Spider-Man, like, Mr. Fury, sir, and he was trying to seem like he was about to say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. Say what one more goddamn time. Spider-Man, you don't want to be Spider-Man all the time. You kind of want to be a kid, and it took a long time for the story to really get interested. And then when this interesting part happened, you'll know it in the movie. I set up like, oh shit. Okay. Shit's about to go down now, son, and it does. That's when I think the movie has the most drama in it, if you know what I mean. And then as for the action, it's a lot of action in this movie, especially towards the second act. It's a lot of action sequences in there that I thought was spectacular to look at. The CG is some of the best CG I've seen in a Marvel film, period. I was like, oh shit, y'all didn't waste no stop bringing out the budget in this. I was like, damn, look at all that money on the screen they spend on CG. They spend a shit ton of money on there, and it looks great. And I also know it's a lot of people mad. Like I heard John Carpenter say he don't want him to see him to be Iron Man Jr. He don't want to see that. He want to see him to be Spider-Man, but he's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You gotta use your fucking tools around you to build a story. And he is part of now the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So he is part of Tony Stark's tech. And you're gonna see a lot of him, becoming its own. Still being Spider-Man, but still being highly inspired by Tony Stark. And it's a couple of intimate moments with Jon Favreau. I forgot to mention him as Hogan. Him and Peter Parker, and it was just touching to see. And then this movie had a lot of emotional stuff when it slows down, and and just be quiet for a minute, and sit down and have a conversation. I really enjoyed those parts. If I say anything I didn't like in this movie is a lot of the comedy, it just did not land. It was characters they were focused on way too much that I think they should have cut down and kept a tighter story. Maybe even made the movie a little bit shorter. And as for heart, the movie doesn't have a whole lot of heart like a Spider-Verse. Spider-Verse had a whole lot of heart, what it truly meant to be a hero and what it truly meant for these things. And this movie, as great as the spectacle is, it just seems like we're going through some beats just to get to the next action scene, to the next. It wasn't I mean, I didn't connect with that strong heart like I did Spider-Verse. And that's how I'm going to get to my score. So, if I gotta give Homecoming a score, I'm going to give it a solid 4 out of 5. It doesn't quite get a 5. If this movie would just had a little bit more heart, if you could have just skipped that kind of slow first act with all the shenanigans and things like that, the things we don't really care about. I think it was fine, but I think it just went on a little a bit too long. The special effects are creme de la creme, some of the best I've seen from Marvel. And then it's 2 post-credit scenes you gotta stay for. One was like, holy shit, that was good. That was a nice touch. I'm not gonna spoil it here, but it's setting things that can be in an interesting way moving forward. Now I like to see how it turns out, but overall, Spider-Man Far From Home is a great time at the movie. It is fun enough. I'm gonna buy it, of course, on 4K Blu-ray to see all those great particles and those great special effects. Water, fire, wind, air. It's all here. And Tom Holland is definitely now the best Spider-Man. You know, one of the best Spider-Mans we have. I'm still a Miles Morales guy from Spider-Verse, if I'm being honest with you. He's just that hero, you know what I'm saying? This is more of a Peter Parker story. It's just he's whiny all the time, you know what I'm saying? He's whiny, and like, you know, even in the trailer you see Nick Fury like, bitch, you've been to motherfucking space. Stop being a bitch, and you know what I'm saying, save the day. And I guess that's a duality with the story, but you know, you know, he needs to be more of a man. I thought he was coming to a man in the first Spider-Man Homecoming, when he was like, come on, Spider-Man, come on, pick this shit up, and become Spider-Man. But he's coming more of his own. And Tom Holland is definitely the best live action Spider-Man that we have over Andrew Garfield and over Tobey Maguire. As for the web slinging, I really enjoyed the web sling. It was a lot going on. They even went to like first person cameras and was doing some cool shit like with the webs and these things, and then they will cut back. It's some very clever action scenes. The director seemed more confident in action scenes than he did in Homecoming. Sometimes it just seemed like he wasn't too confident in himself. You know what I'm saying? Directing this big budget action. And here, this shit is crazy for a Spider-Man movie. It's just amazing to look at. And then we were in a great theater, and that sound was hitting. Go boom. It was a spectacle. It was a great spectacle. Spider-Man Far From Home is definitely worth a watch. I just wish it had just a little bit more heart for me. It was a couple parts that really touched me that happened to do with Tony Stark and things like that. After you've been on this ride for 10 years, you just tend to get a little sentimental. But overall, man, Far From Home is great. Well, anyway, guys, thanks for watching this review. Did you see Spider-Man Far From Home? Please let me know what you thought about it in the comments. No spoilers. If you like this video, yo, hit me up, them 2 Spidey thumbs up or whatever. If you really like this content, consider subscribing to the channel. And don't just stare at it, guys. Eat it. Peace.